Was.
All right. Good morning, friends. Thanks for taking the time to jump on. Caitlin and I are here to share some goodies about Ultimate Portion Fix and kind of, a recap of this week and going into this next week. And we are going to dive in a little bit. I know there are quite a few of you who wanted to get on but couldn't make the time. So taking in all of this for the recording. Sorry, I have to sneeze. Oh my gosh, excuse me. But listening to the recording and taking the time out of your weekend to watch. We're going to try to keep this short and sweet. So just if you have any questions about this last week, any of the modules, any of the videos, any of the recipes, what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, how to access everything, you should have received that email when you enrolled to the group to join the app group. What's great about the app group, in that email, there was instruction on how to download the app. It is the My Challenge Tracker app. So it looks like this right here, My Challenge Tracker. And then it takes you into Team Beachbody. And then it shows you you can log your workout at the top, you can add your Shakeology in there, and then you can scroll through and see the posts for, sorry, this lighting is terrible. Scroll through and see the posts for the group. Now, what you do here is, you can go in and you can log, like I said, you can log your workouts. If you're doing the 21-day fix real time, 21-day fix extreme real time, come out April 29th, then you'll be able to go in and log your workouts there. So this is like your hub for all things Ultimate Portion Fix. This is where we're posting daily. This is where we're talking about the modules and what to be watching and where to find the things. So this right here is your hub. Now, I've also asked that you download the Beachbody Nutrition Plus app. And it looks pretty similar, but it's orange. So you can go into the App Store. It's available for Android and iPhone. And then you can come in here and have your, you can put your containers in. So when you do that calculation to figure out what your suggested caloric range is, it gives you your amount of containers. So you'll go in and you'll plug this in. And then you log your food. So if you're somebody that needs to see and track everything, this is great for that. So meal one. So for me today, I had a protein. So I'm going to want to log that. And then I had a serving of veggies. So I'm going to want to log that. And I had a serving of fruit. And then a serving of carbs. So it shows me, you go in and you add your containers. You can add a photo and then you click log. And then it shows you what your remaining portions are. So if you're doing the foundational fix, you know that you get an allotted amount of containers to use throughout the day. If you're doing timed nutrition, I will say, coming out of the gate, I would strongly suggest doing foundational fix to just get started, understanding the importance of the containers, how the containers work, how we use them. This is it's called foundational fix for a reason. It's balanced macronutrients. It's the foundation of this entire program. So timed nutrition is great. I did timed nutrition when I did 80-day obsession, and I went all in, fully committed to the nutrition portion, the workouts, and I had some of the best results of my life because that's what I followed. Now, if you're a very regimented person and you know that I'm going to be able to eat every 2 to 3 hours, I really need somebody to tell me what to eat at what times, that is great for that. Foundational fix is great to just understand portion size, portions, how they work, how to fuel your body. We're still eating every 2 to 3 hours. If somehow your containers were off during the day or you didn't get a meal that you had planned, you can still utilize those containers throughout the day and kind of just make them work to your advantage. The carb cycling, I want to touch on that real quick because we're kind of diving into that module where we pick our path. Carb cycling is not something I would suggest starting out with. Now, what's great about carb cycling is it's 3 weeks, we're working through fluctuating our carbs. I do carb cycling when I'm preparing for a competition, a fitness competition. I do carb cycling if I'm going on a vacation and I want to prep for a few weeks. Carb cycling is not recommended to be used long term. And please don't think that quick fix is a word that I'm looking for here, but it's ideal for shredding some body fat, losing a few pounds, and leaning out in a shorter period of time. Now we know that carbs, and if you've watched the videos so far, you know how integral carbs are for energy, for maintenance, for balance, for weight gain, for muscle gain, for weight loss, for metabolism. So carbs are essential. Carb cycling is, we're having days where we're having a regular amount of carbs and then days where we're having a minimal amount of carbs. We're still consuming carbs though. So there is not on any of these plans or anything that any of us would suggest is where you're eliminating any carbohydrates from your diet. You're still consuming carbohydrates. They are essential for energy. They are essential for keeping your brain functioning at a normal level. So brain power, carbs. Minimal brain power, minimal carbs. Okay. Anyway, carb cycling, we can all laugh about that, right? Carb cycling is good to, maybe you do like, maybe you're like, okay, but Ashley, I'm going on a trip in June and I really, want to lose a few pounds and I want to try this carb cycling thing before I go. Okay, great. Let's do foundational fix for, the month of April, the month of May, and then your trips at the end of June. Maybe we do carb cycling 3 weeks before you go on that trip or whatever. So check with me, check with your coach, kind of just, like I said, ask all the questions. Please ask all the questions. We love the questions. We're getting certified. We've been certified in this nutrition course for a reason, so we can answer those questions and better help you reach your goals. This is, again, a marathon, not a sprint. So we don't want to see you try to lose 50 pounds in the first month, because we want you to, this is sustainability. This is a long-term lifestyle. So 1 to 3, I'll go up to 5 pounds per week weight loss is ideal. If you're looking to lose a larger amount of weight over a long-term period of time, that's going to be much more ideal than trying to lose it all real quick and then you gain it back when you reintroduce things into your diet. This is, again, sustainability. We're creating that balance. So 1 to 3, like I said, up to 5 pounds a week. But typically about a 1 to 3 pound weight loss per week is great. If you're, on the 3 pound end, you're still losing 12 pounds a month. If you look at the long term, that's technically 25 pounds in a couple months that you could potentially be losing. So think of this as, it took time to put the weight on. If you're, pregnant, postpartum, it took time to put the pregnancy weight on. It'll take time to get the pregnancy weight off. So don't think that it all needs to be done right at once. And, we want you to come into this group and create this long-term sustainability. We don't want you to come into this group and be like, I'm going to try to do it all in 3 weeks and then boom, done. I'm out of here. It didn't work for me because I didn't lose 25 pounds in 3 weeks. Like, we don't want you to lose 25 pounds in 3 weeks. We want this to be consistent. We want this to be a lifestyle. So I wanted to touch on meal planning as we go into a weekend, as we go into this next week. We're working through this next series of modules. We are not technically introducing the containers until we're through that next set of modules. So if you're like, Ashley, I haven't got to the point where I know what containers I need to be using, that's okay. You can certainly use those containers if you're meal prepping to kind of measure out your portions. So maybe you're like, I know I want to do a chicken stir fry one night for dinner. I know I want to do meatloaf and potatoes and green beans one night. We always do tacos on Tuesday. So I know I want to use tacos and taco meat and lettuce and salsa and all that stuff. You can certainly use the containers as measuring cups to measure out your portions. And as we dive into the containers a little bit more, and you'll see here in this meal prep book that, in your workbook, the colors correspond with the containers that you're using. So if you're like, okay, I'm going to do turkey tacos on Tuesday. Well, use your red container to measure out your serving of turkey. Use your green container to measure out your serving of lettuce. Pack it in there. And if you have too many veggies, I'm not mad about it. Veggies are good and they help us poop and they help us, you know, with fiber and just overall help us feel more full. If you're like, I need to eat more vegetables because I'm not full after my dinner, have another serving of vegetables. Now, if you're having like a serving of canned corn and then you're like downing it, you know, with gravy, like that's technically not a serving of vegetables. But, you know, if you're still hungry after dinner and you're like, I think I want just a small salad with, you know, a little bit of vinaigrette and some sunflower seeds, have that, you know, that's no deprivation here. An extra serving of veggies, in my experience, has never caused any harm for anyone. It's actually better to have those extra nutrients than not. Extra protein is not a bad thing either. So if you're like, I think I had 3 eggs at breakfast instead of 2, that's fine. It's really, you know, don't beat yourself up if you're not spot on with everything, but understanding how portions are used, how they appear on our plate. This is really a lot of importance here. Because I can tell you guys, after 4 years, I don't use my containers to like measure out my portions. I do every now and then if I'm doing like rice and I'm meal prepping for the week. But I've had that visualization so much of using these portions for so long that I kind of can just visualize how my plate is supposed to look. I know about how much a chicken breast is as far as a serving of protein. I know about how much a serving of blueberries is, strawberries, healthy fat, things like that. So this really does help with the longevity of it, that you're beginning to visualize like what food should look like on your plate. So as we go into meal prepping, you know, you've enrolled, you have your workbook, you're working through the next series of modules. This thing right here is going to be your BFF, along with in the Nutrition Plus app, like I had mentioned. You know, that's where you can access your videos. You can also go in underneath the videos and you can scroll down to Fixate. And that is the cooking show that Autumn and her brother does. They created this cookbook. They created the first Fixate cookbook too, 101 recipes. This one has 102. And then all these recipes are in here. And there's like vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, all kinds of stuff, breakfast, desserts. So you can come in here and, you know, you're like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to make this week. I need some help. Come in here and look through some of these videos and find what looks good for you. Chicken stuffed bell peppers. We love chicken stuffed bell peppers. I haven't made stuffed peppers in a long time. So I think that's something I may put on my meal plan this week. But you can go in and look through these videos and choose some things and watch them. And they're like 2 to 5 minutes typically in length. So if you're like, I am terrible at cooking, I don't know how to cook, these are really, really helpful because they literally walk you through it. A lot of these recipes in here are super, super simple to follow. There are some ingredients that you may be like, what is unflavored gelatin, preferably from grass-fed cows, and where do I find that? Again, like, I am not a fancy chef. Not going to pretend to be one either. So I know that sometimes I just kind of make it up as I go along. And if I don't use unflavored gelatin, that's okay. If I use like liquid aminos instead of tamari soy sauce, I know that that's okay. Use what you have if you're looking for a healthier alternative. Yes, you can look a lot of times in the like organic or specialty section in the grocery store. You'll find a lot of these things. The reason why they're in the cookbook is because they are a healthier alternative to a lot of things. Typically, you know, like if you're making beef and broccoli, instead of buying the store-bought corn syrup loaded teriyaki sauce, this is giving you a healthy alternative to how to create that on your own. So again, if you guys have any questions about any of this stuff, ask, or like, what's a healthier alternative? Because there's no way I'm going to make my own teriyaki sauce or whatever. So Balsamic glazed chicken is a big, huge hit from what I've heard from a lot of people. This is something that I'm going to put on my meal plan this week and use this, in salads or in lettuce wraps. And it's just a really easy fix, especially if you're doing like batch cooking. So we tend to do batch cooking on the weekends, meaning we cook, 2 cups of brown rice that we can use for Taco Tuesday. We can use for a stir fry. We can use with meat and potato or meat and veggies. We cook a lot of sweet potatoes. We'll cook a 5-pound bag of sweet potatoes on Sunday to use those throughout the week. There's a great breakfast sweet potato hash that sweet potatoes are great for. You can use them, lunchtime, toss them in with a salad and some balsamic chicken and some arugula. You can add them to any of your dinners during the week. So just a ton of like simple hacks. So Sundays, I will say, are a great day to meal plan, meal prep. I wanted to just do a quick screen share, and I'm going to try to wrap this up in the next 5 minutes. Real quick, Caitlin, do you have anything that you want to add, contribute, share as far as meal prep recipes, anything like that? Totally putting you on the spot.
No, I mean, I think what it's going to take is that we're all just going to have to kind of work through how to pair the recipes that we have here together. And I think that my happy place, because I'm more of an intuitive eater, so I've done To Be Mindset and that works for me. So this is a total stretch right out of my comfort zone to try to use the containers. But I think the basic meal prep is where I'm going to live for a little while, because these recipes are fabulous and they're awesome. However, they require a lot more forethought and a lot more planning than I think I'm ready to do, because I want to get used to the containers first, and then I'll dive into some of the big recipes. Like maybe a recipe a week I'll try, and we'll go from there. But otherwise, no, I think people need to feel comfortable asking the questions. No question is dumb or stupid. This is a learning experience for most of us, I think. And I think this just needs to be a safe space where people are okay to say, "Ooh, I'm not sure what I'm doing." Don't worry. We can talk you through it. Otherwise, no, let's dive in. I'm ready.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree. The most simple you can make this early on to kind of just get through, the first week of understanding like how to use the containers, how to pair things together, how to build a successful meal prep. And that doesn't mean you have to prep everything on Sunday and have like all of these beautifully portioned containers for the entire week. For us, that works most of the time. But sometimes, like this past week, we prepped for a couple days, and then I cooked, another meal on Wednesday, and I cooked again on, Thursday, and just kind of prepped as we go. I didn't prep breakfast for the week like I had intended. I meant to do egg muffins this week, and I didn't get a chance to. So I found myself having to get up an extra 10 minutes early because I needed to cook myself breakfast every day. So I will say having things prepped and planned ahead has been super beneficial, but it's not a requirement. You don't have to have like a big full out meal prep for the whole week. We just want to kind of help you understand the simplicity of having things at your fingertips, and especially like snacking. This is where Shakeology plays a huge role. If snacking is something that you struggle with, having those extra snacks on hand, prepping some snacks ahead of time, picking up some hummus and some extra veggies and portioning them out in Ziploc bags and things. So that way when you're, stressed or frustrated and you're ready to dive into, the kids' Girl Scout cookies, you're like, hold on, like, let's think this through. I'm working on some personal goals. Nobody wants to eat celery instead of Girl Scout cookies. I understand that, but working through some of those cravings, and sometimes as far as cravings go, like a lot of times it's 8 minutes until they pass. So distracting yourself, like if you're like, God, I really just want to eat a whole row of Oreos. Okay, what if I like drink a big glass of water? What if I brush my teeth and then I take the dog for a walk and then I come back, and like if I still really want to eat that whole row of Oreos, maybe I make a Shakeology. Or maybe I, eat a piece of fruit and slap some peanut butter on it, and you work through that craving and know that a lot of times, like, we're craving something not because our body wants it. Like, my body never wants a whole row of Oreos. My mind does, but my body will be like, girl, why did you do that? Like, now we're bloated and we feel like dirt. But a lot of times it's mind over matter, and it's a matter of saying, like, I don't need this. I want it. I don't need it. What can I substitute in place of that? So having like pre-portioned snacks is a great thing to have on hand. So that way, if you do feel, and especially, if you work outside of the home and you work a full-time job, packing extra snacks is beneficial. So you're not running to the vending machine or hitting the drive-through on the way home. We use the Beach Bars, Beachbody Beach Bars. They are great. They're wonderful. They're delicious. Something to maybe consider if you're like a snacky type person and you want a granola bar, you want something crunchy, or that's your mid-morning, get me through the morning kind of thing. That's another awesome tool that you can utilize too. And there's a lot of like great muffins and like little snacks and stuff like that. We do the protein bites where you mix peanut butter and oats and Shakeology and honey and some chocolate chips. And like sometimes one of those will do it for me. Like I'm like, I just need a cookie. Like sometimes that will do it for me. And it's a much better alternative than that row of Oreos. So real quick, I'm going to do a screen share. And I have a couple resources that I'm going to post today in the page. We do have, and you can access all these resources in the modules. You can access them from your computer, from your TV. It's easier to, if you're printing things out, to go from your computer. This is like a sample meal plan template that you can use. It's in the resources under the meal planning module, module 4. We're not quite there yet, but you can also dive in and print some of these things out. So this is a great, okay, I need a plan for Monday and Tuesday. This is a great thing to plan for. And then the other one I have is the grocery list. So this is, it just shows you by your portions, things that you can use. And I do have a 21-day fix meal planner, like a blank meal plan template that I can share as well. So for your ultimate portion fix videos, I think probably a majority of us have accessed them already. You go to Beachbody On Demand, you log in, you click on the nutrition tab, and that's where everything lives, right here on this nutrition tab. I know I've done a tutorial before, but you should be working through these modules. Again, we do have a curriculum we're kind of following through the group, but if you jump ahead a little bit, if you're ready, if you understand everything, you're working through your workbook, you can go right ahead and keep rolling. And all these resources are still in here. Your workouts for 21-day fix. Guys, I haven't started the 21-day fix workouts yet, but I am starting them this Monday. So if you're like, okay, I want to do that, let's start on Monday. This is where your first week is going to be, down here in your 21-day fix real time. And you can go through and work through these workouts every day. So days 1 through 7, Monday is total body cardio. We have a lower fix, upper fix. There's abs that you can add on there. On day 3, Thursday is Pilates, Friday is cardio. There's a bonus workout. And then the workout for today hasn't been logged in yet because it's at 11 o'clock Central Time. And yoga is typically on Sunday. So that's where you'll access your workouts. They will load one day at a time. But if you're just starting this week, then you'll start with day 1 and work through those. 21-day fix extreme comes April 29th. So everything for your nutrition tab is in here. Again, the Nutrition Plus app, you can access it through there. All of your resources are within the modules and over here on the resources tab. So we work through Pick Your Path. We're going to work through Containers 101 and meal planning. This is all in here. Your vegan eating plans, the time nutrition, and all of that stuff. And then just the regular foundational fix. Containers 101 is where we'll calculate our calorie target, figure out our suggested caloric range. Now, I know some of you may look at that caloric target and go, whoa, like this seems a little much for me. Like, I don't think I've ever eaten that much in my life. Well, it's amazing what happens when your metabolism is slow and sluggish and kind of needs a jump start. And sometimes people will say to me, there's no way I can eat that much food. And I'm like, try it for a week, see how your body feels. If you still feel like it's too much and you just can't eat that much, then yeah, bump down. But you'll be surprised when you jumpstart your metabolism and you're eating every 2 to 3 hours, how your body responds. And when that metabolism jumpstarts, that's when you start dropping the weight, and your body's like your engine is turned on, and you're like, okay, like you're starting to use that energy. Maybe you're starting to feel a little more energized. You're starting to add those workouts, and your body has a need for more calories. So you're adding that in, and you're going to start see the pounds dropping off. But again, like if you calculate your caloric target, you feel like it's too much, you feel like you're eating a ton or you're eating too frequently, then maybe we can pull some things out of there. We can dip down to the lower calorie bracket. But really it's, Caitlin had mentioned intuitive eating, listening to your body, how your body responds to certain foods, and ultimately finding that balance and being able to do this long term is key. So I think I've rambled on enough. I could go on for days, but I want to save some things for our future calls too. So any questions, guys, feel free to drop them in the comments of this call. Thanks for taking the time out of your weekend to get on and listen. Message any of us. If we're not your coaches, message your coach, post questions in the group. Chances are someone has the same exact question that you do. So the more interactive you are within the app group, the better for all of us, because then we can publicly answer questions, and any concerns and things that you have, we can kind of address those too. So let's rock out this next week. Looking forward to another awesome week with you guys, and let's just keep rocking and rolling. Caitlin, do you have anything else you want to add?
Don't get overwhelmed, guys, as we're watching these videos. We're all going to take baby steps together. It's going to be okay. But like Ashley's saying, ask the questions and let's talk about it. We'll get it all figured out together so that we all succeed, because we're better together than we are alone. Otherwise, I'm good.
Yeah. All right, guys. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.